ibigay sa'yo. Ilang tulog pa ba? Malapit na, ilang tulog pa ba? Ang Pasko masaya. Ilang tulog pa ba? Darating na. Pusok ng puto bumbong nalalanghap ko na. Ilang tulog pa ba? Heto na, ilang tulog pa ba? Ang Pasko masaya. Di na hinihiling ng kung ano-ano. Mahalin mo lang ako. Ayos ng Pasko. Hamon at keso'y malapit na miyak. Ay tagal na mamilig. Ulugan pa man din. Ibalik ang medyo gipit. Basta tayo'y maligaya. Ang masayang Pasko'y hinihintay ko na. Kalambang ng kalambang ang parang ay lakas. Pagkinanang pagkinanang Merry Christmas! Lahat ng masalubong ay may ngiti sa langit. Bahit ka na ng bunga ay nagkakapatid. Ilang tulog pa ba? Malapit na, ilang tulog pa ba? Ang Pasko masaya. Ilang tulog pa ba? Darating na. Pusok ng puto bumbong nalalanghap ko na. Ilang tulog pa ba? Heto na, ilang tulog pa ba? Ang Pasko masaya. Di na hihiling ng kung ano-ano. Mahalin mo lang ako. Ayos ng Pasko. Ibilangin ang tulog sa tanghali. Sa sangin ng Pasko. Ang kadali-dali. Pag-ibig sa tayo. Sa aking tayo. Ilang tulog pa ba? Pasko na. Pasko na. Ilang tulog pa ba? Malapit na, ilang tulog pa ba? Ang Pasko masaya. Ilang tulog pa ba? Darating na. Pusok ng puto bumbong nalalanghap ko na. Ilang tulog pa ba? Heto na, ilang tulog pa ba? Ang Pasko masaya. Di na hihiling ng kung ano-ano. Mahalin mo lang ako. Ayos ng Pasko. Di na hihiling ng kung ano-ano. Mahalin mo lang ako. Pasko na!
Mula sa ating choir ngayong gabi, ang Singles for Christ Choir.
Nagsisiyawit ang mga anghel sa langit, walhati sa Diyos sa kaitaasan, at sa lupa'y kapayapaan. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Kalong-kalong ang iyong nagtiksang mo. May hiling ang mga mata. Hindi mo ba may raming naghihintay sa'yo?
Mga Pasko sa sabsaban ay napupunan ng hari. Mula silangan ay nag-aalay, ito. Tumangyan ang tira para sa'yo, Jesus, hari ng sanlibutan.
Nagsisiyawit ang mga anghel sa langit, walhati sa Diyos sa kaitaasan, at sa lupa'y kapayapaan. Gloria in excelsis Deo.
sa kaitaasan at sa lupa'y kapayapaan. Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo,
Palakpakan po natin ang singles for Christ Choir. Ang sakasakali lamang po na lumakas ang ulan at sa mga nais
I think everyone can hear it. Looking better. And I feel more confident now. Okay. So, the best thing now for you is to get related to Cardinal Tagle. Cardinal Tagle has become the prefect of the Congregation of Propaganda Fide, elevated to a higher rank. So why don't you try? But I tell you a secret. There is someone sitting here. He is related to Cardinal Tagle. Do you know who is that? You don't know? But I know. Cardinal Tagle said, "My name is Luis Antonio Tagle, but I like to be called Chito." Do you love Father Chito? Do you love him more than me? I love that. Okay, you should love him more than me because he is the one who is related to you. Okay. So he forms a part of your family tree and he should, the spiritual family tree. And this family tree of Jesus, when we heard in the gospel, you may have been thinking, or may I ask you this question, do you read this part of the gospel when you open the gospel of Matthew? Maybe you will not. Now, what's the use of hearing, okay, Abraham was the father of Isaac, Isaac was the father of Jacob, Jacob was the father of Judah, it goes on like that. It becomes very boring, and then the first page of St. Matthew's Gospel, you turn, then you start from maybe verse 17, the birth of Jesus. Because it's so boring, it's not interesting, but it is an essential part of our faith. You should have a new frame of mind when you read the genealogy and the family tree of Jesus. St. Matthew has a definite purpose. St. Matthew starts with Abraham to Joseph, husband of Mary, from whom Jesus was born. If you go to St. Luke's Gospel, chapter 3, we'll go from Abraham to Adam, going up. In the book of Genesis, there is a genealogy which comes from Adam to Abraham. And both put together, the evangelist has a very definite purpose to tell us something very, very essential to our faith. First of all, he is trying to tell us that Jesus was truly human. The humanity of Jesus is important for our salvation. He was divine, but he became man. He became flesh. And that humanity of Jesus, many heretics began to deny. They said Jesus only appeared to be a man. God cannot become a man. But we have a God who really became man, flesh and blood like us. To establish the humanity of Jesus, St. Matthew brings this family tree of Jesus. Secondly, when you examine the family tree of Jesus, not everyone is lily white, not pure snow white. There are many, including Abraham, David, and all that. We know their stories. The Bible, the genealogy also mentions 5 women in that. Very extraordinary. In Jewish tradition, women will not be mentioned in such genealogy, but St. Matthew mentions that. And of the 5 women mentioned, the first one was Tamar. Read the Bible, you know who was Tamar. And then there is Rahab, there is Ruth. All 3 of them were not women of virtue. Then the 4th one is Bathsheba, the wife of Uriah the Hittite, with whom David sinned. The sinners are mentioned in plenty, and the 5th one is the Holy One, Mother Mary, the last one. So 4 of them are not great characters. But still, Matthew brings them. Matthew poured into the Old Testament and took out names which are not really praiseworthy. Sinners, just to show that God came into this world, became man, and became part of the sinners, because he came to save us, sinners. We're all sinners. And therefore, that's the second point that Matthew wants to tell us, that Jesus became part of humanity which is sinful, totally sinful. And that's what happens when we go into our
morning. So, ay, good afternoon na pala kasi ano na ba? 1 o'clock na.